Implicit and explicit coaching tactics. That's our main topic today, episode 25. Let's get into this a little bit. Now, I want to ask you, because I'm not sure a lot of people know what implicit and explicit coaching tactics are. I'm sure they've done it before, meaning parents. I'm sure that they've actually done it before without knowing that they've done it before. And some coaches probably in the same scenario. But what does it mean, implicit and explicit coaching tactics, when you talk about coach-driven and athlete-driven?
Sure. Sometimes certain definitions or topics, I should say, become more complicated when you try to find a direct definition. So if you go and you look up definitions of both these words, you're like, okay, wait a second. What exactly does this mean? But when you start to dive into the coaching theories and the development of both these concepts, it starts to make a lot more sense. And explicit is something that is super, super, super direct. And if anyone has kids, you could say, to a 5-year-old, hey, go get dressed. And that might be very implicit, and they come out and they're dressed in the completely wrong thing, right? If you say it explicit is like, I need you to put these socks on with these pants, these underwear, right? Because they might come out with their underwear over their pants, whatever it may be. Implicit, you're kind of leaving it up to them. Explicit, you're explaining exactly what you want. Now, how does this pertain to coaching? Mm-hmm. At a certain age, and really, honestly, it's not necessarily age, at a certain point of development, depending on how young their talent is or how young their development is, we need to start to remove the explicit and really leave it up to the athlete to figure things out on their own, which is the implicit. So, if I have a 16-year-old in the cage who's rolling over a ball over and over again, it is going to be much less beneficial for me to say, hey, I need you to lean back a little bit more. I need you to get your hips cleared so you can get your back elbow in through the zone so that we can now keep our hands inside the ball, have bat lag, and hit the inside half of the ball. Yeah. Opposed to me saying, listen, I need you to figure out a way to get this ball into the opposite field corner. And now they might fail a couple more times, but they are creating such a stronger neural motor pathway for their body to self-regulate and figure out how to accomplish that on their own than because someone just told them how to do it exactly. And right. That's really what translates to future and in the game.
So to me, it sounds like you're pointing that athlete in the right direction. You're leading the horse to water, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Now they just have to drink it. But the important part is being able to communicate what you want them to do as a coach and how to actually lead them to that point.
For sure. And, sometimes I think it's really valuable for a coach, and it's hard to do because I'll, do 5, 6, 7 hours straight of coaching. I'm exhausted, but sometimes I'll sit down and I'll write like similar issues that a lot of my athletes had. And I'll write down, okay, well, we had a really tough time with this drill. Why? Well, a lot of my athletes are having a tough time saying back why. Okay. What are some implicit cues or implicit ways I can get them to figure this out on their own? And that's a practice as a coach that I think we really have to participate in because it's easy. It is so easy to just be like, this is what you're doing, fix it. Stop doing this and do this instead. Go. Mm-hmm. And sure, maybe it works for that one session, but it's not going to stick. It's going to be very acute of a change opposed to a long-term change. And to be honest, that's actually why I made a shift from one-on-one sessions to 3-on-1 sessions. Not that you can't have implicit styles applied in.
Meaning one coach and 3 students.
Athletes.
Yeah.
Yep.
3 athletes. Right.
So instead of having, a girl would take a swing and look at me and be like, what am I doing wrong? When I have them in this 3-on-1, they don't always have the opportunity to do that. And I'm really pushing them and challenging them and encouraging them to start to figure things out on their own. And the changes I've seen in athletes, it's led me to believe, one, what a disservice it's been to not have this environment sooner. And 2, how can I make this environment even better? How can I make it even more in the athlete's hand opposed to a coach just driving their development car the entire time?